Yeah, it's never a good time when we lose people that are famous. Been suffering a lot of loss as of lately, and I know it's been hard for a lot of fans of these people. So let's go ahead and pay our respects to a few individuals that have recently passed on to the other side, and are now looking down on us from another angle. We have Angie Stone, wonderful, very influential R&B singer, passed away, fatal car crash. It's definitely tragic to hear things like that because the first thing that hits my mind is, these individuals could have had many good golden years ahead of them. Just do all kinds of things and maybe even drop more music for us to enjoy. It's just always tragic to hear the story end early like that. It really is. So yeah, I definitely don't like this. Um, But yeah, before she died, she was definitely calling out younger artists for not really paying respects to the people who trailblazed. And she's definitely a trailblazer. Um, I really like to look at it like there's no such thing as retiring from music. There's just that time in between projects. And I'm sure she had something else in the oven for us. So it's unfortunate that we're not gonna get that gem for Angie Stone, but definitely much big respects, big respects. Everybody make sure you put one up for Angie Stone. Take the time to do that. Yeah, it's never a good thing to have to report stuff like that. When I have to report stuff like that, I get, kind of sad on the inside. Like I know the other people, they're just like, so and so just died, and it's more than that. This is somebody's family. It's the end of a story that ended in a way it shouldn't have. So definitely, we also have another loss here. We have Michelle Trachtenberg, died at the very young age of 39. Now, the cause of death for her is kind of mysterious. No, don't nobody really know how she died. But I can tell you that I know her from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I watched that show religiously. Her work there was very influential. She was a young actor coming in the game, just killing it, and it was real important to the story towards the end of it. It was real. It was real good. I mean, like, I always have positive thoughts when I see her, and to hear that she passed is just horrible. I had no idea she was on a show called Gossip Girl, so I will have to go back and watch that, and definitely just get more of her, more of what she might have evolved into since Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Plus, I heard Gossip Girl was good anyway, so. But not to get off the how tragic this is that she died at such a young age. It's definitely not good to hear. You never want to hear stuff like this. So R.I.P. to Michelle. She's probably definitely in a better place along with Angie Stone. And thank you for really, you know, shaping my childhood as far as entertainment. Showing me that, you know, because I used to do a lot of stuff when I was young and have dreams and aspirations, and just her existence on television was showing me that you could be young and on television and talented. So thank you for all that. I really appreciate you, and it's very tragic that we lost you at such a young age. I'm sure you had way more gifts to give the world. Oh my goodness. Oh man, we're not done yet. We still have to cover Gene Hackman. Now this one's just a weird one, just to be honest. Move this out the way. But yeah, it was pretty mysterious, and we actually have a video here from CNN. We're getting this information from CNN. Let's go and watch this video here.
Film actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and a dog that authorities have called suspicious, including the reported condition of Hackman's and his wife's bodies and what an affidavit calls mummification in both hands and feet. What stands out to you about this? You've seen a lot of crime scenes.
You have Gene Hackman, who is in the mudroom off the kitchen by the back door, who appears to have taken a fall.
So mummification. That sounds like they've pretty much been there for. Isn't that like an intentional process? And some very odd stuff happening here. But let's continue to listen.
A cane was found nearby.
And
glasses.
a pair of sunglasses. It looks like he fell where he was and he dropped what he had. You have his wife, Betsy, in a bathroom on the other side of that floor where there are pills scattered on the counter and a space heater that's been knocked over, and a dog in a kennel or a crate that's also deceased. And, you know, it's the kind of thing where you could say murder-suicide, but it doesn't appear to have the trauma that would go with murder. You could say a joint suicide, but those things usually come with somewhat of a ritual where people will take an overdose, get in bed together, or hold hands sitting down.
You could also have an accident and a suicide.
You could have an accident and somebody saying, well, I don't want to live without him. But you have all those possibilities.
What does their bodies apparently being partially mummified? I mean, how long does that actually take? I guess if it's hands and feet. What does that actually mean?
So the extremities can mummify relatively quickly in a hot ambient environment. It's hard without knowing how warm it was or dry it was in the house, but they've clearly been dead for several days, and I'm saying days plural in order to get that kind of mummification. One of the ways of figuring this out, obviously, is from the scene investigation to find out when did they last pick up the mail, when did they last check in with relatives, phone calls, those kind of things, because people generally will communicate with others during the course of their time. But then you also can use other guides from the autopsy to determine the time of death, or at least estimate what we call the postmortem interval. It means that the skin has dried. So what's happened is it's wrinkled up and it's dried. And it could be anything from kind of a leathery change all the way to the point that it's so hard that you can't even cut through it easily with a scalpel. So sometimes it just looks a little bit leathery, and that'll be called mummified as well. So it still just gives us a ballpark. We would need to know more information about the condition of that. Can take, oh, definitely, it usually takes days. It's not something that happens in hours. It's multiple days, probably even weeks.
Wow.
The Pope is still not.
Okay. Let's minimize this here. Sorry about that. But that's absolutely shocking, you know. Dead for weeks. So here's a picture of the scene. The law enforcement officials talked Thursday outside of the home of actor Gene Hackman in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Look how nice that house is. Let's see if we can kind of blow this picture up a little bit. All right, cool. So we got this picture blown up here. Very nice, nice house. About to call it an apartment. This is more like a compound mansion joint. They said their bodies were mummified within this residence. That's kind of creepy. So, of course, without trying to delve too much into the creepiness of it all, let's just go ahead and thank Gene Hackman for his absolutely monumental contribution to the world of acting. Um, I think it just goes without saying that we definitely lost like one of the most major influences to acting. Period. So, just countless achievements within that realm, and to see that story come to end is tragic as well. Because I'm pretty sure, like I said, I don't think you ever once you really take up an art, it's never over. You're just usually in between creations, and I think Gene Hackman had more to give us, and it's a shame that we won't be able to receive those gifts as well. So, yeah, just RIP to all individuals, RIP to their families. Just realize they're definitely in a better place. Their contributions to the world will echo for years outside of their existence, and they've inspired individuals. I've been inspired. I'm sure there's countless others that could chime in and say they've been inspired as well. So, you just really hate to read stuff like this, But I just wanted to just get it out the way, because it needed to be said. There needs to be reverence. These were lives. These were people. It matters. It matters, So definitely, let's go ahead and pay our respects. Everybody, put one up for Gene Hackman. Put one up for Michelle. Put one up for Angie Stone. And we gotta move on to the next topic because I can't really just stay here too